absolutely.
Mhm.
So one of the other things that Google announced is something that, speaking of Microsoft, is a little bit of a catch-up play, in my opinion. But they're announcing what they called Workspace Flows, and it's basically a Gemini-based automation component, sort of similar. I mean, it sort of sits in the middle of what you can do with uh, custom GPT from OpenAI, and then the built-in components that like Microsoft has in using their Copilot in their Office suite. So it's sort of a mix of both of these because you've got this automation layer, which I guess is also somewhat similar to what you can do with like Microsoft Copilot Studio, where you can build, although I would say from at least what we've seen in the announcement, relatively simplistic workflows. I mean, these are not horribly complex and not horribly AI focused. These are, I would say these are more, I mean, in fairness, they call them workspace, right? They call them workflows. So more workflows than agentic AI. But definitely the ability to do this in a very simple format. And then they sort of as part of the same thing, they've got all these components that are baked into Google Drive and Google Sheets, and I forgot what the word processor one is called, Google Docs.
Docs,
So it
yeah.
has now all these elements baked into it. I don't use any of the Google products, but again, that's very similar, and in this way, it's very much catch up to what Microsoft has been doing. But again, some they say they had to go. They need to get caught up here. They needed to have all these pieces, and the upside here is that by all what at least it seems that Gemini is a pretty significant step forward for them. And so
Mhm.
ostensibly this is all going to work much, much better because it's all built on the Gemini foundation.
Yeah, I've everybody always has complaints and issues with any new model that comes out, but I've actually found the latest Google Gemini models to be quite proficient in what they do. I think they kind of took some of the air out of the latest Meta Llama models, frankly, that came out because Gemini was outperforming Llama pretty consistently on tasks, and Google was showing that they are basically going head to head against Claude, which had their, Claude 3.7 has also been a very successful launch, but Google is basically able to go head to head. And I think that the flows are, as you said, it's kind of an embryonic step forward. It's not like Google is now ServiceNow all of a sudden, but it is helpful to have these workflows in place because honestly, a lot of the work that is going to happen in the enterprise is simply linking agents to workflows, being able to go back and forth, and then having agents workflow code and being able to go back and forth between those three modalities of work control and making them consistent. So Google needed this piece. Kudos to putting it in place.